I know your whole focus is about the NCAA tournament, making that, playing well enough to make that. But in terms of the last 2 weekends, you're still in the hunt for an SEC championship. Hadn't won a regular season one since 2002. Had a chance last year. Does that have meaning to you and your guys? And would you like to be able to do that?
Well, absolutely. I think it definitely has meaning. It's something that you don't really talk that much about as you go, but it's one of those things that everybody understands. You know, we got the East, we got the West, we got the overall, we got the tournament, you got postseason, you know, things that are on your mind all the time. But you know, it's not something that I sit around and talk about or discuss with my team. I guess it's philosophical for me that you don't dwell on things to create pressure and anxiety and tension. You just play. Everybody knows what's at stake. You do the best you can, play them one at a time. And I know that's sometimes coach speak, but I really think that's the way it has to be. You can't worry about other things. You do the best you can today, and then when it's all said and done, you look at the body of work and see if it's good enough to have accomplished what you maybe had set out to do.
Do you think the conference championship, because the focus is so much on making the tournament and getting that good seed in the host bid in the tournament, that, you know, sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle?
Well, it may get lost a little bit because I think everybody's focus is, let's win as many series as we can. Let's get as many wins as we can. You know, for RPI purposes, you know, to finish as high as you can in your conference. And then I think the last, you know, three or four weekends of the year, you know, people go, you know what, we're in the hunt for this whole thing now. So, but I don't think anybody goes into the regular season thinking that, you know, let's go win 22, 23 games and win the conference. It's in our conference, that's hard to do. And you know, I've said this before, you win 18 or 20 games in this league, it's a pretty good year. And you know, we've got a chance to be in that hunt. Vandy and Florida, you know, their record's incredible. So, you know, in all seriousness, it's not something that I talk about. I don't know if I've said anything to my team about any of those things. We just go play. And our players know what's going on. The coaches know what's going on. But you're so concerned in the moment that let's try to figure out how to get through the first part of the game and have a couple relievers and what kind of depth you got. You just don't get too far ahead of yourself.
Could you talk a little bit about moving Forrest up to the Saturday spot? What did you see out of him to, I guess, get that promotion?
Well, you know, I think it's a situation that Forrest has done a nice job numbers-wise. He's been fine. He's a little more rested right now. He's you know, had an opportunity to get his feet under him a little bit. So we just felt that, you know, with Roth out front, Forrest is in a better position to move up a day. We wanted to get Colby back on the mound in the middle of the week, which we got him a few hitters last night, and try to stay in the best position that we can. Really, that's what the decision came down to. You know, who's got the best numbers, who's rested the most, who feels great right now, and so we're going Roth, Kumis, TBA. Colby's certainly a candidate for the third game, but if a situation dictated that we thought it was best to bring him in relief this, you know, Friday or Saturday, we probably would do that.
With the TBA, is Price back on the table as a potential starter?
You know, my initial thought would be no, but as soon as I say that, then I'll do it. So, you know, I don't think so. But if he somehow didn't get in a Friday or Saturday game, you certainly have to think about one of your better guys getting some innings. But John Taylor's not out of the question either. You know, he's a guy that, you know, we'd like to have out there. His numbers have been good. You want those guys to be in a position to decide the game, the guys that are most proven for you. So we'll just you know, start those guys in the first two, see what develops from the bullpen, and go from there.
Ray, obviously you guys kind of bounced back with the midweek games from the trip. Any worries about, you know, some lingering effects from last weekend because of the injuries, because of what you guys have battled through when you come up against Arkansas?
I don't think so. you know, I think that in my position, I'm very fortunate that I have a team that has experience, guys that have been here for a while, played a lot of baseball, have poise and composure, are very mature, and the circumstance is what it is, and we're going to try to play the best we can and win. Would we love to have Jackie Bradley back in center field, Adam Matthews in the lineup? For sure, but they're not going to be there, so you just go play. And you've heard me say this before, you either win or you don't. That's the bottom line. It's not woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if, and that's what we're going to try to do. But you know, hey, we lost the series last weekend, but we've won a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So you have to take the numbers, play the percentages, and it's been pretty good. We're playing an Arkansas team that is maybe playing their best baseball of the season. They started out with a young club, some inexperience in the middle of the order. They've grown. Their pitching staff has kind of evolved, and Baxendale's out front, got great numbers. They got a couple guys in the bullpen that stepped up for them. McCann behind the plate is a great field general for them. Could probably be a pretty good draft pick. You know, so that's what it is, and we're going to hopefully Roth will give us a good start tomorrow, and we can get in position to win.
Oh, Coach, I touched on it earlier about the first place finish in the division. I mean, it seems like even after beating Vanderbilt in Florida, yet they're still in the thick of the division race, which I guess makes these last two SEC series extremely important for you guys if you want to stay ahead of them, right?
Well, they are very important, but they would be important in any scenario that you look at. I mean, there's been a lot of years where you go into the final 2 or 3 weekends and you're trying to position yourself to get in the SEC tournament or try to position yourself to have a better resume for the postseason. So there's always a lot at stake. Now, the fact that we're still in the hunt, that's great. You know, hopefully we can play some good baseball and be around to the very end. It's a great conference. Certainly Florida and Vandy are putting up tremendous numbers from a win standpoint, and we're glad we're in the conversation and hope we can play well these last 2 weeks.
You mentioned Adam Matthews a little bit. Would he be available to pinch hit this weekend? And also, what's the update on Stephen Neff?
We're gonna keep him available to pinch hit Adam. He's getting some better. You know, as I said earlier in the week, he might have worked out a little bit too hard on Monday. Did not have a major setback, but we might have kept him out there just a little bit too long. I think he felt good and was enjoying his workout. But he's doing well. He's getting a little bit closer, I think. Yeah, so he's available to pinch hit. Stephen Neff was X-rayed, no break, and feels much better today. What we'll do for him as far as swinging the bat, I'm not sure. We're going to work out here in a few minutes, but it shouldn't affect him, from a pitching standpoint because it'll be on his glove hand.
Ray, is there any extra challenge this time of year just keeping the guys focused? I mean, school's over. These guys know that they're likely in the NCAA and their path is clear. Is it kind of a challenging time for you and the coaches to kind of just keep them focused on what has to be?
I don't think so. Yeah. It's a situation that I think during the course of an academic year, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport it may be, there's a lot of time pressures. Being a student athlete, class, academic work, travel, playing, you have to really prioritize and have your life in order. Now these guys are finished with school for now. Yeah, we do have a couple in Maymester, but there's this is an opportunity. I said, hey, just play baseball and have fun. And as I told them a couple of days ago, many of you guys have aspirations of playing at the next level. This is how it is. You play baseball, and you get to sleep in a little bit in the morning if you want, and then you crank it up and enjoy it. There could be some scenarios where it would be challenging, but we're having a good year. We're in the hunt. We expect near capacity crowds all weekend. National television. There's just so many great things that surrounds our players that I don't think there are any challenges. I think they're enjoying the opportunity in their lives right now.
Right, first of all, sorry for being late. First one this year. looking at the course of the week, if you took this week as a work week, is it helped that you had a couple of games this week, build a little momentum after last weekend? Not looking more on the bright side of having more games?
I think it's always great to play. Baseball is a game that's, once you start playing, it's meant to be played. And we were out of school. It was great. Andrew, careful there. Andrew, easy. It's always, great to play. We came off of a weekend series where we didn't win. Kind of a tough loss on Sunday where we might have had some opportunities. So we jumped back out there and had a couple of games. Played pretty well. Our pitching staff didn't allow many runs, and we had a few hits, scored some. So I think it was good. The guys enjoyed it, and we won. So they feel much better than they did last Sunday night. So we're back at home. We got 4 more games at home before we finish on the road, and hopefully we'll play well.
Sorry for being late to misread the email, but does the 40 wins mean anything to you? Does that milestone mean anything to you when you accomplish that each and every year almost?
In the old days, I guess I'm old if I'm talking about the old days, but in the old days, the magic number in college baseball was 40. If you expected to be a postseason team, you got to get 40 wins, and of course then we had the mandated 56, and then 40 was a little bit hard to get to, and we're getting close. But that's a pretty strong number this day and age in college baseball. I mean, there's going to be some teams. There's going to be a 29, a 30, a 32 win team or more in the postseason this year. That's how our game has changed a little bit with good RPIs and conference winning records. It's changed. To get to 40, there'll be some teams around the country that get there. Not that many. It's a little bit different than it used to be. So, yeah, I think it's a special number, and of course we're not there yet, but we hope to get there.
Ray, you mentioned national television this week. With more and more of your games being televised, what are some of the results that you're seeing from that? With the extra attention around the country, and also with the game just being more available, more accessible to more of your fans.
It really has made an impact for us. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but when the regular season ends next weekend in Tuscaloosa, we will have been on television, I think, around 20 times, 21 times in one capacity or another. And from a recruiting standpoint, we make sure that our prospective student athletes know that we're on television and they keep up with us, and the awareness is incredible for college baseball. And I was coaching and played in an era where you were lucky to get your scores in the newspaper. So it has changed in a big way. People know what you're doing. I think that's outstanding. The only one negative side is sometimes I worry that we're not going to have a full house because we may be on locally. That's the only thing that concerns me every once in a while. But I think it's great. It's meant so much for college baseball, the exposure.
Anything else, guys, want to talk about the field for players before we talk about